Good morning, Laguna Woods. Glad to see you again. And did you get your coffee? I was just reminded I brought my coffee too. And actually, it was a Christmas gift that I got from a millennial who said if I put anything in that, it never gets cold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, just a little tidbit because I want to get to know you. We're like family, or getting to be, aren't we? I hope so. I have a great guest with me today, Vicki Cox. Vicki has the honor of having worked with me the longest
Yep.
of anyone here, and you're still here.
I'm still here. Yeah, almost 10 years.
Although the amazing thing is, we might be starting to think too much alike because our outfits matched, and we did not
even the
coordinate
pants, yeah.
this. I want you to know this is just pure coincidence that we think this much alike,
Oh.
which is kind of a frightening
It's
thought.
scary, yeah. It is.
But Vicki has been numerous jobs, and currently was the one that stayed the same is like my admin
Yeah.
person all this time. But in the old days, it was like you and me.
It was, yeah, too. It was, I think, for like 4 years. I was trying to remember
Oh, my
this
goodness.
morning. I don't know how we did it.
And now we have, for those of you who come to Laguna Woods or would like to, we have 8 staff.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'd think that means we do less.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't
harder
know
to
what.
control. It takes
Oh,
it takes
okay.
more time.
Yeah. Well, Tom Atkins was on the last couple days, so they
Oh, so
they
you got to know him.
understand what we're saying, probably. Well, Vicki, I asked you to start with like a verse that's important in your life. So what do you got?
John 10:29. My Father who has given them to me is greater than all. No one can snatch them from my Father's hand.
I love those. That's in John 10 something.
Yeah.
That whole chapter I
10:29.
love because it stays on that theme. I thought it'd be really good if this first show with Vicki that why is that verse important? Maybe tell us your story and.
Oh, I know I accepted Christ, invited him into my life when I was under 13 because it was before my grandma died, and she died when I was 13. I'm not quite sure when, but after she died, I totally walked away until I was 39. So
Where were you living? Just to put it in a
I was
little
in I'm a
context.
California girl, never moved anywhere else. So
Okay.
I was in Torrance. By the time I was 39, I was in Mission Viejo.
Oh, okay.
So
But
that's
your
how we
grandma
ended up
lived.
at Saddleback in Torrance with
Oh,
me.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't
So-
mean to interrupt.
That's
but,
all right.
yeah.
I'm used to it. So anyway, because I walked away so far, I was into a lot of stuff, reincarnation being one, which is, anyway. This verse, when I started to write my testimony out, this verse just came to my mind. Because no matter where I was, God was still there. I was still in his hand. So it means a lot to me to know that he was always there for me.
Yeah. So what made you, or how did you happen to
End up
come
at
to
Saddleback.
Christ? No, I was.
Oh, I'm not. It's one of those testimonies. You know how everybody has that big moment? I don't. It was either when my grandma took me to a Billy Graham crusade.
She did.
So I
Now,
was.
was that like in the Coliseum, or do you remember
Um,
that? He was very now his
Yeah, it was-
ministry started in, I think it was 40. Well, that wasn't when you
It
were
was
there.
in the 60s
Okay.
that I went. And I've looked it up since then. When he died, they had a listing of where he was when. So I looked up to see how old I was to see. I think I was around 10 or so. And she took me to one of the crusades. And I got up as soon as they did the altar call. And without even talking to her, I got up, walked past her, and went down on the floor. So I know they prayed with me, and I did they send you when you're a child, they send you all the Bible study stuff to do. So I love
see.
doing that.
Yeah.
But there's
yeah.
also, I watched a movie called The Robe. That's Richard Burton, and I can't remember who else was in it, but this big cinematography thing. And I think it was before the Billy Graham crusade, but I just remember for some odd reason, that movie just broke me when I was so tiny, and I just went to bed crying and talked to God all by myself. So I really don't know when it happened. I just know he came into my life.
So then you had this period of time where
My parents
really you
weren't
just kind of
Christians.
forgot about the
Yeah,
Lord.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I look back on it and when I see different things that I did, I know, my first marriage, I had to carry a Bible. It was very important to me. Don't ask me why. I
Oh.
don't know how that even happened. But I wasn't anywhere near. We never went to church. My parents never went to church. So when my dad died, when I was 39, he accepted Christ 2 weeks before he died. And so after he died, I was on my I am only married twice, my second marriage. We had two small kids, and I had an older son. And I thought, okay, they need to go to church so that they can make a decision when they get older what they want to decide. So we walked onto Saddleback campus. It was in the tent, and they had just come over from the high school. So as soon as I walked on campus, I said, okay, I'm home. This is it. We went to 101 right away. I was baptized by
Which
Pastor
is our
Glenn right
membership
away.
class.
Yeah. So it was fast. Once I came back, I jumped in with both feet.
You know, a lot of the people that are watching, they may have either similar experience where at one point in their life they were definitely following the Lord more actively, let's say, going to church, reading their Bible, and all those types of things. And many who have even, asked him into their life. And I think that, to me, see, you, from your perspective, you were away from the Lord.
Yeah.
But this verse basically tells us he was never away from
yeah,
you.
right. I stepped away. He never did.
And I would say that to everyone out there that, it's okay. It's not embarrassing. I've had people say, boy, if I came to church, the walls would fall down.
Right.
Or God would knock the
strike
walls
by lightning.
down.
Yes.
Or something
yeah.
like that. No, they won't. Because God, he never... Well, read that verse one more time, wouldn't you?
My Father who has given them to me is greater than all. No one can snatch them from my Father's hand. I was always in the palm of his hand. I just didn't know it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when you came back to church, you immediately felt like it.
Immediately. It was an odd feeling walking onto this camp. And it wasn't really even a campus. I mean, there was dirt everywhere. But walking into the tent, it was like, okay, this is it. I'm not leaving.
Well, yes, Saddleback in those days was kind of a dirt field.
It was, yeah. The moonscape,
but you know what?
I think they said.
We now meet in Clubhouse 5. It's not real fancy either. But I always feel that on Sunday mornings, that is sacred ground because God is there.
Right.
It doesn't. So that's the important part.
It is,
don't you think?
Yeah. One thing, too, with my testimony, every time I give it at 401, because I don't know the exact day that I accepted Christ, I always have at least one person come up and say, me too. Because they tell you, if you're around Christians, they'll say, okay, you need to know the date, you need to know where you were at. And it's, no, you don't.
Yeah,
it
no,
doesn't.
you
It
don't.
doesn't make any difference. And at our age, I'm not going to remember that stuff anyway. So I'm.
Now that's
it's
bringing
fine.
up a sensitive topic, and you're young, relatively. But well, Vicki, it's really encouraging to hear this, and we've both heard so many stories like that. But what would you say to people that maybe are sitting at home and haven't gone to church?
Try it. Come to Clubhouse 5 one time. Grab a couple donuts, get some coffee, sit down, and just relax and enjoy. Talk to the people around you. It's a lot of fun. It's totally different than you'll think it's going to be.
We have made church so enjoyable, and I think you use that word, but we do serve breakfast, and we serve breakfast not just to feed people, but because that puts them in a very social atmosphere and mood, So we are often called a very, very friendly place to be, and it is, but not unless you try it.
Yeah, just come once. Just come once and try it.
Just come once, and
yeah, that's all it took me, and I came back.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, Vicki, we're going to have you on again tomorrow,
Okay.
and we're going to get into a little bit more of what your ministries are and some of the things that I know the people, especially the women, are going to enjoy trying out.
Yeah.
Bye, Laguna Woods. We'll see you soon, tomorrow.
One over.